Mark Stinson, aviation ordnanceman, 3rd class. I went in the Navy on my 19th birthday in 1969, the Great Lakes. As I recall, boot camp was a pretty short period back then. They were rushing people through. It was during the Vietnam era. Left there, came to Jacksonville for aviation ordnance school till December '69. Went to another school for about 3 weeks here in Jacksonville. Went home for a week, and then on New Year's Eve of 1969, I checked on the America in Norfolk. Well, it was at night, and it was during Christmas season, so it was lit up pretty well. A lot of lights. Hard to explain. It was just, I didn't know what to expect. Although I just, I wasn't nervous or anxious or anything, and it was interesting evening, to say the very least. My first night on the ship. We don't remember the dates, but shortly after the first of the year, we went to do carrier qualifications, and they'd been in the yards, I think, most of '69. So I went down to the Caribbean, down to Guantanamo, and came back from that. We're in port for a month or two, and then on April 10th we left for Vietnam.
Okay.
My division was G2 division, and we handled air-to-air, air-to-ground missiles, anti-personnel, anti-tank bombs, SAM missiles, and so forth. So for the first Vietnam cruise, I worked in the magazines assembling missiles and testing missiles and so forth. It was a great cruise. We had some good ports, Subic Bay being most common in the Philippines, Hong Kong, Japan, Sydney, Australia on the way home. That cruise we circumnavigated the Earth, which was interesting. And we went over across the South Atlantic and into the Indian Ocean, and then when we came back, we came down through the South Pacific and had a swim call in the Coral Sea before we went to Sydney, which was a lot of fun. It was the water was so blue, and the only anxious moment was to see the Marines in boats, launches, patrolling, looking for sharks. So it was. But I stood there on the deck edge elevator for a while and thought about it. I said, I'll probably only get one opportunity to do this, so you got to go. There you go. And when we got back underway, the XO came over and said he and the captain had discussed maybe coming up with a prize for the first person that came up with a handful of mud. And then he said, well, the water was 4.5 miles deep, so we thought that was probably unreasonable. So we went to Sydney, Australia for 3 days, which was wonderful, and after that we headed home. We just happened to cross the international date line on Thanksgiving, so we had Thanksgiving on one day, and we crossed the date line, had Thanksgiving again. They fed us turkey for both days. That was neat. Hit Rio on the way home, and then we got home just before Christmas of '70. Spent a short period in the yards in '71. Went to the Mediterranean.